Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Good morning and welcome back to our series of lecture on emotional intelligence. So, in our ongoing discussion in the area of application of emotional intelligence, so today we will be dealing with one of the very important areas where emotional intelligence could be applied the most, that is known as making organizations emotionally intelligent. So, how we can make or create emotionally intelligent organization. Emotionally intelligent organization. What could be the benefit if organizations we make organization emotionally intelligent? In a recent conference of Academy of Management, there was a particular section on how to make organizations more meaningful. So, why to make organization more meaningful? What could be the benefit? So, once we make organization more meaningful, more desirable, more engaged, more virtuous, then probably we will be able to create a better workplace that will enhance the productivity and performance of its employees, and in turn the overall effectiveness of the organizations enhanced. So, that is the keeping that in mind. Today we will be discussing about various areas where we can examine different components of emotional intelligence, and if it is nurtured in people, in leader, in teams, in groups, the organization can create a platform for employees where they can practice emotional intelligence to remain more productive and sustainable at their workplace. So, even recently I am planning a management program on creating emotional intelligent organization for business managers. So, now today's organizations are not just interested in profit and productivity, they want to make their organization, their people more sustainable and retainable. So, that is why I have created a code that do not look for productivity, you look for sustainability. So, we will examine how emotional intelligence will be useful making organizations more sustainable and more productivity. There are some questions that arise when you discuss in terms of happiness at work. These are some of the concepts that comes into discussion when you talk about making organizations emotionally intelligent. Happiness at work, happy workers, happy employee, happy leaders, and happy organizations. So, we will be discussing in this in the context of emotional intelligence, and probably we will bring in the role of positive psychology. As organizational expert says that even psychologists, those who are into the field of industrial and organizational psychology, they says that emotional intelligence is a domain of positive psychology. Why? Because emotional intelligence encourages nurturing positive values, virtues and character and strength in people. So, we will be also examining what are those characters, strengths and values that organizations look for making their people more effective and productive, so that they can sustain and they can perform better. So, are happy leaders and happy organizations, are we looking for happy leaders and happy organization? this is one of the important questions that I often ask to the business managers, executives. Can happy leaders make organizations happy? Can happy leaders make people happy at their workplace? Because there is a popular perception among people, and even organizational experts also agrees that people do not leave organization. People do not leave their organization. They leave leaders. So this all summarizes about the importance of leader in the life of any organizations. So that's why a good leader always encourages people, always motivate people, always create platform for training, development and growth of employees. So if a organization, if the organization's leader is not emotionally intelligent, he or she will not be able to realize the emotional, the motivational and the career needs of its employees. So that is the focus of my discussion here, to make that why people leave their leaders, not the organizations, because no organization is bad in general. Organization is run by its leader, the top boss of the organizations. If the top management or the top leadership does not show the right kind of way to achieve the goals and objectives of the organizations, probably the employees or the workers of its organizations will be aimless. So that is why people needs to be emotionally intelligent, both the leader as well as its employees, to achieve the right kind of goal that the organization sets for its employees. So now the question is that, are happy leaders more productive than unhappy leaders? Because usually when you see that delay of gratification is also one of the important quality of any organizations. The more you delay, more you create craze, create need for achieving more and more. So leaders should not be easily satisfied with the achievement of goals and targets. So that is what we call the delay of gratification. So once you say that, yes, whatever is with me, that I am happy, I don't need anything else. So that is where you are creating a full stop to your career growth and opportunities. But there should be a hunger, need for a hunger to achieve. So that's why in psychology also we often say that high aspirations leads to high achievement. There are many number of experiments also have been conducted by psychologists. High aspirations leads to high achievement. So this has been experimented in the field of motivation, particularly in terms of achievement motivation. So in order to achieve more, you need to create a emotional need, a motivational need, so that a state of need is driving, it acts as a driving force to achieve the next level of needs. So that's why there are certain areas that we will be discussing about happiness, well-being and positive virtues, how they are interrelated, so how positive virtues could be linked into well-being. Are by people, those who are having positive outlook, positive virtues, do they possess a high level of well-being compared to their counterparts, those who are low? And also we will be also talking about what is the role of blissful workplace, in making of emotionally intelligent organization. Emotionally intelligent organization. This is also one of the session that was also discussed in the Academy of Management. making organization more meaningful. So, how to create a blissful workplace? Blissful workplace is a place where there is no negativity, only positive vibrations, helping behavior, altruistic behavior, good interpersonal behavior, and people exchange ideas, informations. People cooperate with each others. So, there is a place that creates an atmosphere of vibrant workplace, what we call vibrant workplace. So, that is why we say that it is essential to create a blissful workplace where people are living with ease, living with opportunities, living with peace, living with happiness, living with good values. So, people easily forgive others, people express gratitude that get help when they get help from others, people express their thankfulness when they are being promoted, when their talents are being recognized by the organization, people express gratitude when they feel that their organization is taking care of their growth and developments. So, these are certain dimensions that we often say that can make organizations emotionally intelligent, say for example like forgiveness, gratitude, so forgiveness and gratitude, these are just two jewels of any individuals, if nurtured, that can make them wonderful people in the organizations, because forgiveness is such a quality that is not easily possible to nurture among people, because we all are human beings. We do not easily forgive and forget things that obstructs or creates hindrances on our way. Say for example, say anybody who offends us in front of others whom we respect. So easily, suddenly we feel hurt, suddenly we feel emotionally hurt, and we try to react easily too heavily towards others. So why this person misbehaved me? So this is a kind of insult we can easily digest, but once you learn the art of giving, this is practiced by Guru Ravi Shankar, very well known for the art of living. This is nothing, it is related to blissful life. Blissful life. If you can forgive others, that will bring peace and tranquility in your mind. You will feel as if you are relaxed, you have achieved a milestone in your life. So that is the benefit of forgiving others, forgetting the wrong deeds committed by others against you. So that is how it creates a psychologically clean workplace, or what you call mentally you feel sacred. Blissful workplace, I would call it as a sacred workplace. What do you mean by sacred workplace? Sacred workplace in the sense there is no anger, no disgust, no hatred feeling for others, you as an employee, you don't express anger, you don't experience disgust, you do not express hatred towards others, you do not carry no revenge. Suppose somebody is stopping your work, you create, oh my God, I will see you, I still remember what you did last summer, just like a movie. So usually when people they grow up to the higher powerful position, say for head of the department, head of the institute, they often try to score grudge against their enemies, and as a result the enemy also made up their minds, okay, it's your turn, now you do whatever you want to do, I will see when my turn comes. So when they come to their powerful position, then they say, okay, okay man, I still remember what you did last time, so this time is mine. But this kind of attitude, if it remains as an ongoing event, who is suffering? Ultimately the organization is suffering. But in sake of ego satisfaction, we keep on attacking each others. So that kind of atmosphere needs to be removed. This is otherwise called unpleasant workplace. Well, why I call unpleasant atmosphere? Because if these things are present there within people, they will spoil the work atmosphere. Instead engaging their energy in their work, they will focus on attacking each other, spoiling the atmosphere and work culture. So this can only be possible if you by enhancing the emotional intelligence. Of people. That is where positive psychology plays a role. So let's have a look about. There are many others we will be talking about, like managing anger. It's only emotional intelligence. If you are able to express your anger in the right directions, you will be able to focus on your work and minimize your stress. There is another area, like creating vision for others, creating vision for organizations. So once you create a good vision, I want to see my people reach at the top. That's the slogan of the emotionally intelligent leader. He does not only want his promotion and career growth, at the same time he also wants his people to grow up to the maximum. So these are certain things that creates extra motivation in the minds of its employees. Engaged workforce, how people feel that they are part of their work. They are doing this work not because of it is part of their assignments, they are doing because they feel they are connected to the organizational goals and objectives. Building psychological capital, how you can build psychological capital means how you will be more resilient, more hopeful, more optimistic. So this is called a PRP principle, psychological capital. Which is directly related. Recently we published a paper in Cogent Business Journals on psychological capital, where we tried to relate the role of emotional intelligence, where we tried to establish it is based on the PRP principle. This is nothing, psychological resilient potential, psychological resilient potential. So this involves three important domains: hope, optimism, resilience. However, some psychologists also add the fourth one, what we call self-efficacy. So these are three important domains already inherent in the domain of emotional intelligence, what we have already discussed. So that means no one can ignore the presence of emotional intelligence in positive psychology. So let's see how these attributes are contributing to the overall health, happiness and productivity of an individual. In the process, by practicing positivity at workplace, we will be able to create cross-cultural competencies, like how quickly one can adapt to different cultural environments, building high-performance work teams. If you are emotionally intelligent, you can understand the needs and motives of its employees, and you can better channelize their energies for productive works. Then we can make people more creative and innovative. By practicing workplace spirituality, we have seen that the overall human resource effectiveness enhances. Recently, one of our research conducted by my research scholar Lalathendu Jena, who presented his findings that workplace spirituality has a direct influence on making human resources more effective in terms of they will be able to achieve more, they will be more committed, more productive, and organization will be able to retain their talents. And people, those who are emotional intelligence, we have seen that they possess a very good social networking. That is where we connect EI towards social networking in organizations, because one of our research also suggests that social networking enhances employee performance in organizations. It's not only that, people, those who are having a good social networking or a high level of social networking, they are likely to possess better interpersonal relations. So, see, this is how it is leading towards, once you possess good interpersonal relations, your social health, psychosocial health is taken care. Social and psychological needs are met, and indirectly you are taking care of your psychological health and well-being, social well-being and psychological well-being, social and psychological well-being. At the workplace. So, this is how directly it related to health and well-being of employees at work. So, therefore, we always encourage that organizations should practice workplace spirituality in the workplace. There is another concepts that directly influence, that is directly related to workplace or work-life balance. Number of studies exist that people, those who are having a better level or high level of emotional intelligence, are likely to maintain a better work-life balance. They will be able to maintain a balance between their family life and work life in terms of time management, in terms of taking care of family as well as their job responsibility effectively. So, these are in a nutshell some of the areas that emotional intelligence, positive psychology and happiness at work, they are interrelated. So, let us see how exactly positive psychology contributes to the field of human health, happiness. Martin Seligman, known to be the father of positive psychology, he, out of his continuous research, he came up with this perspective, often credited the father of positive psychology movements. He was the president of American Psychological Association in 1998. As of January 2010, he credited with 246 works in SciInfo. Most of them are related to the positive psychological domains. His important contribution to human psychology is based on how to nurture character, strengths and virtues. He published a handbook of character, strength and virtues, which identifies 6 classes of core virtues comprised of 24 measurable character and strengths. So, this is a website that is available. Anybody can search what this character, strength and virtues exactly is. What are the virtues that could be measurable? So, any one of you are interested to know more about it, you can search in Google search, also it is available. Now, going further, the history of positive psychology, in fact, the roots can be traced back to the Greek philosophers Plato, Aristotle, who described the deeper and more balanced for good life. So, while going through his research in search of a positive life, psychologists tried to enter into the domain of making life happier and better and meaningful. They invented a concept called eudaimonia, that is literal means having a good guardian spirit who can guide our mind for achievement of our well-being. So, this is otherwise known as the possessed of a true well-being. A person who is true truly happy when he has what he is worth desiring. So, that is how the happiness is related to well-being. Living according to the virtues and values, what exactly you are looking for. If you get that, then that will be the most meaningful for human life. There is another state is, virtues and values can make mankind more desirable, more sustainable. So, that it restores one's well-being. Another is called, it is also a state of one's fulfilling potentialities. When you feel that your needs and motives are fulfilled, so then you can feel satisfied. So, that creates full satisfaction within oneself. And that is where the emergence of positive psychology begins. And another study shows that by Snyder and Lopez, who talks about positive psychology. Positive psychology is not just opposite to negative psychology. Positive psychology always focuses on, I always talk in my psychology class that psychology believes in two principles. In general, it is not about positive psychology, it is based on efficiency model and deficiency model. So, efficiency is what is good in oneself. So, this is what the positive psychology said, that what is right about the person, what is right about the person, while what is not good about a person, what is not good. We cannot not necessarily say that what is bad. So, that is why we say that positive psychology is not just the opposite of negative psychology. So, that means what is not right, that means there are certain skills and competencies that one has which are not present in other persons. That is the question. This question is the heart of positive psychology. Why? Because most of our energies or most of our research, most of our technological inventions are based on what is not there with us. So, then we try to explore, but we never try to make use of what is there within us. So, that is where the source of positive psychology grew up. Say for examples like, every man possesses many good qualities irrespective of his wrongdoings. So, there are two ways to make a good person. Either you remove the deficiency or you enhance the efficiencies. So, these are the two perspectives we look into. So, positive psychology, earlier the clinical psychologist always looked upon or always focused on the deficiency aspects. That is, what kind of psychological deficiency or disorders, what kind of psychological disorders a person suffer. That will be the focus of clinical psychologist, and accordingly they check out, they diagnose, and then they provide treatments. But what positive psychologists do, they measure the strength and virtues, the strength of a person, and they label the status high, low, medium. High is okay, low can come up, medium can also be taken to the next level. So, this is how the perspective started in scientific fashion. So, most of the psychologists, they started to focusing upon the positive functioning of the person. That is the whole focus of positive psychology. Say for examples like, people those who are emotionally weak, we try to impart emotional intelligence. So, similarly positive psychology also in general looks into, it is not only emotional qualities, but also the other areas, even cognitive deficiency, behavioral deficiency, interpersonal deficiencies. The psychology had three distinct missions: curing mental illness. This is what the clinical focus was, making the lives of people more productive and fulfilling, and identifying and nurturing high talents. So, here the positive psychologist as pathologist, they always focused on the mental illness, but sometimes they fail to address the improvement of normal lives, the identification of nurturance of high talents. Even I have seen in my eyes, even people say that you are quite perfect, why you have come to me? So, that is a taboo that people they possess, why our students are not going to counseling centers. If your counselor, you will say that, oh, you are perfectly well, why you have come to me? So, that is where the counselor need to change their perspective. We will come back after the short break. Thank you.